at a women's retreat for CBS Community Bible Study, and a friend of mine, Kathleen Gillen, she was leading the study. She said, "What can we do to change the world around us?" And I remember looking around the room and I thought, we can do a lot to change the world around us. We have so much. And I remember just looking down at my wedding ring thinking, what if I sold this big diamond? What could I do with it? The interesting thing is, it wasn't just about the ring. To me, it was, what's the most valuable thing that I have? And that was the most valuable thing that I had. I felt like my diamond is big enough, and if it's really beautiful, then people will know how much I'm loved, you know. And so for me, it was sort of a trophy, and I feel like God wanted to tear that down. But it shouldn't have been a trophy. He's the trophy. What about Christ's character inspires us to give radically? Everything about Jesus' character inspires us to give radically. He gave his life. I don't think you can get much more radical than that. So I love the story of the rich young ruler, because he comes and he says, I followed all your laws. I followed everything since I was a boy. What else must I do to get into your kingdom? And he says, go sell everything you have and give it to the poor. And he looked at him and he walked away sad because he knew he couldn't do it. And I think that's such an important piece that we kind of miss sometimes, because he said it on purpose. He wants us to know that your stuff can get in the way of following me. These are idols. You know, Jesus, he was a radical giver. He gave us everything, but he was really careful to make sure that we understood that your stuff can get in the way. And I think that's where with this ring, our message is very clear. Give radically. He gave radically. We need to give radically.
From the very beginning, With This Ring has partnered with Living Water International, one of the most reputable well drilling organizations in the world.
So around 5 or 6 years ago, when we heard Allie's story with This Ring, and she looked down at her finger, at the wedding ring on her finger, and she began to lean into the struggle, to the inner struggle of could my wealth actually help? Could the way I sacrifice actually help those who need clean water? That caught our attention. It's been amazing over the past 5 years to see the amount of water that's been provided, because people have chosen to give. The decisions, the struggles, the conflicts within the couples and the families that have given have eased so many of the struggles and the conflicts and the challenges that the communities have had around the world with water. We believe this work is eternal, and so we're so thankful for our partnership with This Ring and all of the people who support the organization.
6 years ago, With This Ring began with nothing more than a diamond and a dream to provide one village with clean drinking water. Today, With This Ring is funding and drilling wells all over the world. We started out in West Africa. We began drilling wells in desolate areas where we were told there was no water. As God would have it, we did find water, and then some. Last year, we announced a new presence in Central America, and our progress there has been astounding. We are now sending teams of people to physically help drill the wells there and experience the joy of providing clean water for entire villages firsthand. Our work there has now spread to 4 countries. This year, God has opened up another continent for us, Northern India. Despite the fact that India is the world's 10th largest economy, the poverty there is insurmountable. India contains the largest concentration of people living below the international poverty line of $1.25 a day. Sadly, as the population in urban settings expand, the people living in the slums are pushed deeper into areas where there is no power, clean water, or sanitation, and people are dying in record numbers. The most vulnerable are the children and the elderly. According to the World Health Organization, 900,000 people die in India each year from contaminated water sources. That's more than the entire population of Newport, Huntington, Laguna, San Clemente, Dana Point, Long Beach, and Seal Beach combined. Together, we can change that.
Well, India is a big country, and with 1.2 billion people and around 600 million in North India, there's a lot of need. there's a huge disparity between the wealthy and the poor, and that keeps getting wider and wider. So we need to step in and do some intervention with the Word and water, so that people's lives are not lost through disease and death. And also, spiritually, they get to know the living water in this present life. They experience the happiness, the joy that only Jesus can bring in their lives. We're so excited all the time whenever we hear in North India how people are sacrificially giving and raising funds so that people can have clean drinking water. And we came to know about this organization that has such a unique way of working to raise funds. And that is so awesome, because even when we tell this, that you're having a hand pump here because somebody was willing to give up their prized possession, and especially in India, gold. Indians are the highest consumers of gold in the world. And so they cannot fathom anybody giving up their own gold, especially during marriage, up for sale so that somebody whom they don't even know about can have clean water. That is so profound and shows to them the love of Christ.
Together we have reached 3 continents, and God isn't done yet. It's appropriate then that the theme for the 2013 With This Ring Gala is To the Nations. You now know what we're doing here at With This Ring and how we're making a difference all over the world. One of the most impactful things you can do to help us further the work that God is doing here is to invite your friends and family to be a part of this. And the best way to do that is at our annual gala. When you sponsor a table, people you love are free to come and hear how they too can become a part of our story. You're not just buying them a fancy dinner, you are investing in them and imparting a gift that could change the way they experience God. Come and celebrate with us on April 19th, 2013 at the Disneyland Hotel, and invite those you love to join us.